What it do, homies? It's your boy Dave, and I'm back today. We are here with some more Dreamcatcher. This time we're checking out Because. The B and E is capitalized. That's interesting. Let's go ahead, shut up, and turn it up. They got what do you call that? Pizzicato strings layered in with their vocals. Dude, we got some orchestra action going on in this. See, that's Dreamcatcher for you. We never know where they're gonna take you. So basically, based off these lyrics right here, is they're singing as if they're talking to somebody that's two-faced. Growing up, my dad always told me that when you meet somebody for the first time, that you're not really meeting the real them. You're meeting their representative, if you will, right? Because they want to make a good impression. So they put on this facade for what you think that they're going to like, or something that's accepted by society, if you will. Okay. See right here, I'll give you something sweeter tomorrow. That can be taken two different contexts, right? Sweeter as in too sweet. You know what I mean? Sweet enough to give you a cavity, like, yo, this ain't what I signed up for. Cause yeah, that's it. Cause if the longer and longer that you spend with somebody, the more that you get to know them. But it doesn't always result in something sweeter unless they're trying to bring the facade to a different, like a whole nother level. But how often does that happen? Right? So I'm kind of confused by that. I'll give you something sweeter tomorrow, because the second day I'm probably going to get to know you a little bit more. And that sweet facade that you put on for me when we first met is going to be less sweeter the next day. The only time it'll be more sweeter is if you push it even further. But how often does that happen? Hold on. Look at this. So earlier I was talking about two sides of the same coin. Now, the interesting thing about this is that red and blue are complementary colors. If I'm not mistaken, it's red, blue, and yellow. Now, even though they're in a it'd be interesting if they introduce the yellow color here, but it's interesting, complementary colors, right? They're designed to work together, meaning that they stand off on their own, but they look good when they're combined because they work together. So talking about two-faced at the beginning, we're not necessarily two-faced, but putting on a facade, putting on a representative, but then later changing into who you actually are, that just ended up being kind of like the same person and everything. Funny story is that when I first met my wife, I actually did put on this type of facade, right? I don't know which one's supposed to be which here with the red and the blue, but I tried to act like I was this cool guy or something like that in front of my wife, but she saw through it immediately. Didn't even give me a chance, but she still liked me. So I can relate to that. But that's interesting what they're doing here with the colors. And now that it's reflected upside down, it's like you're looking in a mirror, or if you're looking down in the water, you see in that reflection. The rock influence. This little horror type of elements that they got going in there. That little screech sound, I feel like it's got a name, like whoever invented it first, probably way back in the day, in the horror film days, where somebody was like playing with sound design, they made it. I'm pretty sure that sound has a name, but it's not overly used. We have tones of mystery and sinister in here, but it's sprinkled in there. It still has a little bit, it still has a more of an area of a light feel to it, right? Almost kind of like, I don't know, kind of like we dancing in a haunted house, but it's all good vibes with the surprise elements of horror in there. And if we try to apply that to the concept of going on in this song, the horror part is finding out the true, that person's true side. Yeah, maybe. That little mirror right there, we see that all the time. People who like look really pretty on the outside, you know what I mean, but have ugly personality on the inside. Other self. Oh, that's interesting. Run it back. Oh, one more time. So you could reject me, but my other voice will call for you instead, right? So, I feel like, especially if you were like talking about relationships, the reason why you like said person, for the most part, didn't come from the facade that you're going to put on, the representative that you put on when you go and meet somebody, right? That's just something that you put on to try to impress somebody. But for the most part, it comes from, your personal interest. So even if you reject that facade, well, it was just a facade. It wasn't real to begin with. So it's still going to call for you instead. It's like one of the times where I was kind of the same thing I was just telling you guys when I tried to put on one, for my wife. And she saw through it. So what ended up happening, my real self just stuck around and said, all right, well, cool. That was just a fake anyways. I'm still here. Beautiful painting. Take away the spilled paint before it hardens, before you become this mask that you put on. Beautiful. What's also cool in here is that the colors and everything. We have blue and red. They're complementary colors, but when you put them together, you get purple. Which we have some elements here, like right here. Oh, I can't get right to it. It was just little hints of purple. So I'm guessing that can kind of give you a sense of because it's the same person, right? Right. And the fact that they were splitting it, it's like you trying to live with one side and not the other, but you can't. They're synonymous with each other. So I think that's why we had those little bursts of purple in there. Okay. Another thing before we end this reaction is I was sitting here wondering why they capitalized the be and because. Now, I could just say they did that because that's just how they sung it in the hook, but my brain won't let me leave it at just that. So cause, right? Cause, like cause and effect, because I guess you are the cause and it wants you to be yourself. I could be reaching there. I don't really know where I'm grabbing at. It's just my brain won't leave it alone. I had to say something about it, like at least acknowledge it. I'm pretty sure you guys got a way better explanation as to why they titled this outside of just because it's the way, as I use because, just because of the way that they sung it in the hook. I feel like there's more to it than that, but okay, another awesome song by Dreamcatcher. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and subscribe. Dave's out.